Around 1524, 1525, there was this revolt in Germany. It was Europe's largest and most widespread popular uprising in Europe before the French Revolution in 1789. Hi, I'm Annie, and I'm not going to bore you with a history lesson, but you must know this is the backdrop of the short story The Clock Face of Schaumburg, as I have read this for my long ongoing pulp project, in which I read a pulp short story for every year since the pulp started till now. And this story was published in 1899, and The Clock Face of Schaumburg was written by Kirby Draycott. So there is this man in this story named Goods of the Iron Hand. Well, that's a puppy name for you. And he is a cunning scoundrel who 5 years before the revolt has asked the hand in marriage of Brunhild, but her heart belongs to someone else, namely the Count Conrad of Schaumburg, and she goes off to marry Count Conrad. So about 5 years after this marriage, Goods becomes captain with the freelancers. Now, I'm not sure, but I think at the time of the peasants' revolt, he fought on the side of the peasants. Well, this would have made him a hero in my book anyway, because in the revolt, the peasants fought against the excessive taxes, the high financial burdens imposed by the nobles and the clergymen. They are fighting again for political rights, religious freedom, and a fair legal system and other stuff. But in this story, Goods is a mercenary, so that explains it probably why he is the antagonist in this story and the most vicious scoundrel. So that it explains it. During this revolt, Goods and his men attack Count Conrad's castle, and Count Conrad and his wife Brunhild are absolutely desperate, as they know they can't win this fight. But Brunhild comes up with a cunning plan. So I think that is a really nice touch, with a clever cookie being a woman coming up with the solution for this huge problem. At the time this story was published in 1899, members of the nobility were often depicted as protagonists and the good guys, because they represented the established order and authority. Maybe it was because of the social unrest in the United States during the publication of this story back in the 1890s, played a part in why this was so in this story. You had the labor unrests with labor strikes and conflicts. There was really economic inequality. A populist movement emerged in the 1890s. There were racial tensions and more things going on at the time this story was written. So fiction depicting the ruling class as the good guys were probably a way of keeping the people in their place, keeping them in their station in life, as the saying goes. There is no doubt about it that Draycott is writing a melodrama. With The Clock Face of Schaumburg, the dialogues and story development is really melodramatic in my opinion. And there is a lot of thou and thee and old-fashioned speech in it, which also adds to the melodrama of the things, and I found it, I found this a little bit, it's not my thing, let's leave it at that. But like I said, I thought this was an absolutely great idea to let a woman come up with the solution of the problem. So there is some sort of feminism going on in this story, and that's for 1899. So if you there is I must say there is a good deal of suspense in what the last page or so to be found, so I enjoyed that very much. That made up a lot of the melodrama for me, and old-fashioned speech. This as there is a time limit in this story, which Goods has to do certain things, and his man has to do certain things. So there is quite a good amount of suspense at the end of the story. So if you don't mind the melodrama and the old-fashioned speech in this story, this is absolutely a nice little short story for you to read. Meanwhile, keep those pulp juices flowing, and I hope to see you in the next video.